the light turns on. He was just waiting for someone to break in. He was sitting in there with a gun. He was just waiting for someone to break in.
It was a bait house. He left the door open.
As a senior in high school, he was like, I was like, what are you doing, dude? He was like, I'm bored. I'm under house arrest. I'm like, so you thought you'd set up a trap to shoot somebody? And he was like, what else am I going to do? I'm like, I don't know. Watch TV? I don't know.
Right?
Well, I'm doing that at the same time.
Whatever the rest of us do. Yeah. He, that dude was special. That chase he lived in a small town. That chase.
What was he on? Is he in a car? They chased him?
He was in a motorcycle.
A motorcycle.
They're
hard to catch.
Stephen Randolph. That's the other comic tonight.
What's up, Stephen?
Dark Shadows. But yeah. That was like. I lived in a small town though. I remember shooting AKs that he got in the mail and put together.
Legal.
What's that?
Is that legal? Can you get an AK in the mail?
It wasn't automatic. It was semi, and I think you can still order them through the mail, just not put together. He used to order guns and put them together. We used to have a neighbor who had cars. Like
was he a licensed firearm manufacturer by chance?
More of a hobbyist.
No.
I think you need an FTA.
So this is actually an important distinction. Now, like someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But what?
And by the way, this was 30 years ago. I think I'm remembering this correctly.
Laws are looser now than they were 30 years ago. It's great. A little bit. One of my charges was that serial number thing. Remember? I think the Supreme Court just squashed the whole idea of serial numbers on firearms in the United States. If I understood their ruling correctly, there was a case that involved a man, a bad man, to be fair, a criminal, who had a weapon with the serial number carved off. And he was like, look, that's a bullshit law. Like who are you to say it's my gun? I can take the serial number off if I want to. And
because I got to see if I can get it Obsidian.
Nitty-gritty details about why. But that changes a lot of things. Before that ruling, that's a 10-year mandatory federal sentence for even fucking with that serial number, you know? And
but why wouldn't you be able to do that with a VIN number on a car then? If you can do it on a serial number with a gun, I don't think you can scratch out your VIN number, can you? On a car?
Not and drive down the road.
Yeah, I don't think so. But why would you be able to? If it's the same principle, right? I own this car. I'm not leasing it from the bank. This is my fucking car. You can't scratch out your VIN number. That is not okay.
Well, you can as long as you keep that car at home, right? And I'm going to keep my gun at home.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I won't be operating my firearm down any highways, so y'all don't have any jurisdiction on what do I do with it. Okay. That's what I've always agreed.
Oh, Zach and I both Googled it. You're right, Josh. You can't scratch it off.
You can't scratch off the VIN, right?
Yeah.
On the cars.
On the cars.
And then driving. But if I've got it at home, and I can
Google makes it seem like you just can't scratch them off.
But Kyle,
what is it, like that tag on a mattress?
I'm gonna scratch off the VINs.
I'm gonna use that.
But Kyle, if you have a car that you don't take anywhere, is it a car?
You could off-road with it, right? You could do things that don't have anything to do with the U.S. government and their set of roads and regulations. I could take that car and I could like off-road in my pasture, or wherever you want. That's private land.
Yeah.
And then you're not up to. Then it doesn't matter if it's street legal, right? You can put some big tires, loud exhaust, and 2 engines on it if you want. Whatever. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not trying to say it's right or wrong to carve the serial numbers off guns, because the Supreme Court already figured that one out for us. No need to think about it further.
Josh, I have a question for you. You were walking on stage before the show, just showing us what it was like. Do you get nervous when you?
I did not mean to pick that damn foot.
You've been at this for a while. No. Can you walk in front of 400 people and not even change your pulse? Is it that?
Yes. It's definitely.
Like, here you go. Thanks for going, bro.
Right now, it's exciting. Yo, guys, mostly because I'm for the first time in my life, I can say I'm good. I'm good at what I do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not like in the past. I've been like, you shouldn't say that. I've worked really hard, so I'm Woody, there isn't a situation. I've done this so much. There isn't one I can think of that hasn't happened. A gun, people fucking, people throwing up, electricity going out, natural disaster. I've done all that stuff. Me throwing up on stage, me sharding just a little bit on stage, and trying to decide if I was going to stick it out. Like I've done everything, and because of that, I have confidence that you can't throw me off my game. And so, but I will say, I don't like the shows where I don't feel excited. I'm always like, well, I need to feel something because because it's so cool to do. On the nights where I don't feel anything, I'm like, great. You know what? I'm a little worried. Like I don't want to be too casual. It's still a performance. You know what I mean? So I was too casual with it. But man, right now, all the wheels are on the fucking track.
I have a question.
Damn, man, but don't forget, man.
Yeah,
Would
thanks,
you rather
man.
talk?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, please go on. Please go on.
Well, I was gonna say like, not just the comedy, but all of my creators. Like that show that I sent you guys came from my little brain because execs told me, oh yeah, that. Oh.
Nope, Sniper Boy.
Watch it. How would you make this a show? And I was like, you guys are fucking dumb. So I self-funded it. I made it. It's the best thing I've ever done. Like I am so locked into what I do now. That's what I mean. That's the confidence.
Madam Nice
I
Man.
know finally what I do. I'm not worried about being Bill Burr or being about being a different that I like.
Sure.
I can't be those guys. I'm not those guys. I'm me. You know what I mean? And so I like silly, ridiculous, weird shit. And that's where my comedy is.
That's great, man. How long into, I guess, is this a pretty recent thing, it sounds like? Or I guess it's any change, it kind of evolves over time and you realize where you are once you get there.
I will tell you a lot of it has come from mushrooms.
I know you're a huge fan of mushroom.
I have had a couple of experiences as of late that really changed my life. One was, okay, I've always thought of comedy as a puzzle, right? So I never thought of it as success and failure. I was like, well, if this doesn't work, come on. Piece, right? If you do a 1,000-piece puzzle, you try a piece, you're not like, oh, that's a failure. You're like, oh, that's just not the right piece. That's how I've always thought of comedy, so I've never been scared to try things. I moved that same theory to my life recently. So I don't think of things as success and failure anymore. Just that puzzle piece didn't work. So I need to put another puzzle in. So there's no roller coaster. And it's helped my creativity so much because it keeps me focused. I don't get discouraged. I just keep trying. You know what I mean? And that was a mushroom revelation for sure.
What's your dose?
That depends on what we're doing. So for example, the other night I think about 2.5 grams, did a podcast, and it was wacky.
Yeah.
The
last time I did that much, I didn't enjoy it.
I enjoyed it because of who I was around.
I was alone.
Yeah, that can
So
be.
let me ask you this, because it wasn't an experience actually. I hate myself. It wasn't the part where I was feeling like actively high from the mushrooms. It was the aftermath. It was like I had this weird hangover afterwards, but it wasn't like that sort of drained alcohol, dehydrated hangover. It was like an emotional depression, draining thing. It was like, whoa, where'd this black hole in the middle of my chest come from, full of nothingness that I'm still like being sucked into? And like I was so depressed for like 6 hours in the middle of the night.
Who sniped
When I
me?
woke up the next morning, I was like, what the fuck was that all about? And I'm like drinking my coffee thinking like, what the fuck was I so upset about? And that really spooked me. Like I did, it wasn't like while I was high I was having a hard time. It was afterwards, because I've never had a hard time like being high, other than that being passed out at Walmart.
Yo, that greeter was like, what the fuck?
They were.
Yo, I'll tell you something, dude. That depression only has ever happened to me with ecstasy, never with mushrooms.
It was weird. It was temporary, and it was almost like.
Was it introspective?
No, it wasn't any. Even when I was feeling it, I was trying to nail down what it was that was making me feel so shitty. Because then you can address it, right? I can like, I can get my hands around what this. Even if I'm uncovering something that actually needs to be looked at, but that wasn't it. There was nothing. I just felt bad. It was like feeling nauseous. I just felt it. It wasn't about anything.
I don't. That hasn't happened to me, thank God. My kind of average dose, just to kind of have fun. If I would, like, if the four of us were fucking about, I don't drink anymore. But if the four of us were fucking about, and you're like, let's go to a bar, I could take a gram and a half and go out and just laugh it up with you guys. You know what I mean?
I would rather.
Like, it's a fun night out.
I prefer LSD like way more than mushrooms. So
I have some on there.
I feel like that's great. I don't.
Kyle, my son,
Can you mail it to Kyle?
No!
Don't say that out loud. My son and I each took half a dose and walked around Portland because we had shows last weekend, and it was so much fun. Like, because half a dose is like perfect for the daytime, and then I was just kind of energy enough to go on stage. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I have a. I don't want to interrupt you, but
yeah, no, go ahead.
I want to change the subject. I have two options. Okay. Kanye West or Kevin Spacey.
Oh.
I had Kevin Spacey written down because it ties into everything.
Okay.
Is there
Ooh,
Kevin
gotta be like
Spacey
that.
news?
Oh, there's Kevin Spacey news.
Oh, should I get my pants off or?
We, as Kevin, we're big Kevin Spacey fans here. I mean, he's holding one of Kevin Spacey's bangers right there in his hand. The man is one of the greatest artists of our generation, and it has been found again, not guilty.
This time the victim
Did the
still
witnesses all
alive.
die?
We have a
This
living
victim
witness
is
who has been
alive.
found out to be a liar.
It's tradition.
Kevin Spacey's knocking them dead left and right. All right, no one has found him guilty of shit. They took his shows away. They made him out to be this pedophile, this villain. They made him come out as gay. They made him make that crazy ass video where he was still in.
What an amazing video that was!
Well, hello, I'm sure. Why am I still doing my Frank Underwood accent?
Now, I can't possibly be a molester. I'm gay. It's like,
As Dave, like as your commander in chief, I want to wait. Is this the? He was.
And why do you sound like Foghorn Leghorn now? Like,
Well,
I see. I'm coming
I say,
out
boy.
they call this tactical gay. I'm tactically gay right now because it is expeditious.
all right, but
I say, boy.
I see.
there's the article, right?
All three of you boys better be careful on the road. I say, those cars going quick.
The jury concluded that Kevin Spacey didn't molest fellow actor Anthony Rapp, concluding a trial that was now.
This is desperate. This is desperation.
Sounds like you guys are having a grand old time.
80.
Hell yeah. That container with rice.
Never thought I'd hear laughter in a Modern Warfare 2019 lobby. Usually it's just screaming.
Bro. Leave faces when they turned that corner and saw through rice. You'll see why we laughing.
At a certain point, it's like, yeah, 9 this year. It's like I don't know, we were 36 or 37. I'm not really sure.
Dude, I will tell you what. My birthday was yesterday, and my brother was like, "What are you doing for your birthday?" I'm like, "Who gives a fuck?" So you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? What? It's a day, and this is not a birthday that I need to remember. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a grown man. I don't need a cake. I don't need a happy birthday surprise. No. I don't.
After 30, like I'm only 31 now, but like, I remember at like 20 being like 30. That's like never gonna happen. That's not even a thing. I'm a young guy. Like now I'm 31. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna die someday. Like, I'm sprinting to the finish here, and like I'll be like thinking about my mortality while I'm overeating salty foods, and I'm like, I'm killing myself. How much time am I taking off my life with these snacks? Yeah. Like I got really high the other night and genuinely was sitting there like I was eating a little too much Halloween candy that my wife bought, and I told her not to get it 4 weeks before fucking Halloween. I knew that would be a problem.
It's really her fault you ate it.
That's right. Yeah.
I maintain that.
Oh,
this
so
is,
would you want a good deal on it?
I didn't bring this up on PKN because I was genuinely a little embarrassed about it. But like this past Saturday, my I was home alone. My wife was out, and she had this giant bag of candy that she'd gotten for trick-or-treaters, and it had been there for almost a week already, and I had resisted mostly, and like it got to be that night, and I ate a bunch of edibles, and I was like just blitzed out of my gourd playing Age of Mythology or whatever, and like I looked to my right at the end of the night, and like my entire couch side table is covered in Snickers wrappers, Twix wrappers,
Reese's?
and like they didn't have Reese's, thank God, or I would have killed myself. And the next morning, like I was just sitting, I was drinking my Zevias, having my candy, eating so much, and I woke up the next morning like with the feeling of like, oh, I might throw up. What's wrong? Like, am I hungover? I didn't drink anything, and I'm like, you fat fuck, you have a candy hangover right now. Like, I really did. Like, I did not work out on Sunday because I'm like, I don't feel good.
You ate 2 pounds of candy and then was like, I should probably have a Zevia. Like,
I
what?
just like it.
What the fuck?
I just like the
Diet
Zevias.
soda to go with your piece.
Yeah, everyone engages in delusion.
At that point.
Everyone engages in one flavor of delusion, and that's
Like,
if
no
I have
matter-
a pet, I don't leave the bag of dog food on the floor where the dogs can get to it. Clearly, you need to hide the candy from Taylor.
You know what's
She's an
funny?
irresponsible husband owner.
She literally asked me, or like she's like, I need to hide this from you, and I'm like, pish posh. And she did, because I ate all.
By the way.
I like literally I was in like a cranky mood all of Sunday morning, because I was like sitting like. I had these plans to work out and everything, and I was sitting on my couch like, I'm gonna in the middle of my morning shit Sunday morning. I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up.
Taylor, we need to become bulimic. I think that's our cutting strategy.
That could work, but I don't like vomiting, and that's a huge
Guys.
part of it.
How old, Woody, how old are you?
49.
Okay. I'm 53 yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cutting strategy is super easy. I'm telling you, I mean, I'm probably more cut than I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
But at our age, Woody, now Taylor, no excuse for you.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? You're 31. Like, you still have testosterone. So I don't know what you're fucking about. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is do a couple push-ups with those Skittles, and you should be in good shape.
I do a lot of lifting.
Dude, it's not only what you eat, it's obviously when you eat. But do you intermittent fast?
No, it makes me hungry.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
I will, like, out of guilt after a big feast. Like,
Woody, 12 hours. 12 hours.
12 hours without food. That's 9
Go
to
from
8.
7. Go from 7
Every
to
night,
7.
though.
Yeah, go from 7 to 7 or 8 to 8. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see a huge difference. A huge difference.
You want me to go 12 hours without food? Josh, we're no longer friends.
When's the last time you eat? Like, what's your window right
The
now?
last time I ate was right before the show.
No, like at nighttime. At nighttime. When's the last time you eat?
At night, no. To be honest with you, what I'll do is I'll have dinner, and if I'm hungry, I eat watermelon. That's my snack at night. And I consider it
Woody was
guilt-free. I
mostly
don't know
just-
if it should be, but
to just kind of like get the conversation where it actually needs to go. Woody was mostly just teasing Taylor because Woody's in tremendous shape and he's on a regimented diet workout program for the last like 2.5 years. He's as close to He-Man as you can get at his age, without injecting some testosterone, and that's coming soon. I think I can read Woody's mind. I think he's looking at the year 50. He's like, when I'm 50, that's when I'll start it. I bet he's had that
start
thought.
the injections.
I looked
Yeah,
into
start
TRT.
the- when he starts the TRT, y'all will
Look into
know
it.
because Woody will go boom. He will just be bigger.
Oh yeah, Jackie's gonna have to go back to Hollister for a whole new wardrobe.
Woody, would you do the shots or would you do the cream? And would you do HGH, peptides? What would you do?
You know what? Let's dive in first. Let's go. Shots, peptides, HGH, and shrooms.
Trend.
Trend.
You're just hallucinating building muscle on your couch. I had no idea how much fun working out was.
I want something for
Guys.
I'm healing too slowly.
Your
I'm
showtime?
gonna get ready for showtime, and then I'm gonna check
Okay.
back in with you after the show.
Okay. All right.
And then I'll be upstairs in my room with regular lighting.
Okay. Sounds good, Josh.
Okay.
Have a good show.
All right.
Kill him, man. Break a leg.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I hope so.
Kill him.
Later.
What do you say?
You probably can't
Alright,
get
guys.
the joke I wanted to say right there.
Isn't killing it? Isn't that what you mean?
That is,
a
that
murderer? Yeah. I know.
Go be a murderer out there, Josh. Go commit premeditated murder on the stage.
Dude,
so,
there was a murderer.
I have to jump in. My bestest friend, Kyle. Today, I get a gift from Amazon. It comes in a little pouch and everything, and I'm like, what in the world is this? I didn't order anything. It's a gift from my friend Kyle, LA Confidential. If you remember, Kyle's been telling me all about this wonderful film, and I've been saying I can't find it on Amazon. I can't find it to buy on any streaming services. And so Kyle, being the buddy that he is, sends me the disc. Already, I told my wife about it, and she's like, we have to send him something. We'll find something good for him.
Well,
But
the dog just ate my razor. Those are only like $80. You send me one of those.
I'll send you a new razor. That's bite resistant. But yeah,
Steven for that
cool
$12
guy,
DVD.
Kyle's a cool guy of the week for sending me LA Confidential. Thank you again, man. I appreciate it. I'm excited to watch this.
It's a really fucking good movie. It's annoying that it's not on any streaming services. I wonder what the reason is.
I don't know, but it's got fucking Kevin Spacey, Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, Kim Basinger, Danny DeVito, and that other guy, James
Walter Cromwell.
Cromwell.
I hate it when the movies aren't available to stream or even like buy to stream. Like, look, if it's not currently on Netflix or HBO Max, like I get it. Not every movie is going to be. But if I can't even pay $2.99 and rent it, like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on this property not making money with it?
Yeah. Sometimes it's a dispute of some kind. But I know that Harvey Weinstein probably has some stuff like fucked up right now with his nonsense because he owned so much. Maybe I don't know what the deal with this one is. It's a tremendous movie. And it's got a great cast, so I think you'll like it. I haven't seen it in a long time myself because it's not anywhere to. I should have gotten 2 copies. I guess now I can't watch it. But I wanted to go ahead, please.
I don't know if my topic. There's a serial murderer, maybe 3-5 miles from my house.
Yeah, it's a great topic. People are getting knocked dead left and right next to Woody.
Dude, does he have a name yet? Like, can I look?
Yeah, he's 15 years old. They don't have a motive yet. I'm pretty sure he was taken alive. At the top there, are you looking at him?
The kid, the white kid with the Nike shirt?
Yes, that's the shooter.
This has got to be an old photo, right? Like they're doing like the
I've
young
seen
photo
so many
thing?
photos. Each one looks more innocent than the next. Like, do you remember Trayvon Martin? Like, at first you saw this like 6-year-old cherub beauty of a young guy, and then like later on he's got like grills and he looked a little more dangerous.
Yeah, I just saw another picture. Maybe
every picture I see of this kid, he looks pretty innocent. Well, he's guilty.
You mean innocent, like a tiny guy, like a young guy. I know what you mean. Yeah. He looks non-threatening. You wouldn't get.
That's a better word. Yeah, he looks non-threatening because he's definitely guilty and he's definitely crazy. And he murdered 5 people. And at first I thought maybe he was bullied or something. I tried to make some sense out of it. He killed an all duty. His victims are like 55, 60, 30, just like whoever was in the neighborhood at the time. I don't know.
Just
why.
in his
He just went on a rampage.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's not a serial killer. That's serial
And he
killers
hurt
are
2
cooler than
more.
spree killers. See, spree killers, like,
Okay.
spree
Well, is
killer,
it?
he doesn't have any plans or ambitions. He's just got a lot of rage.
I would call it a speed run serial killer.
Well, I don't think I want to make light of your dead neighbors, but
Okay.
But
You're
nonetheless-
probably right.
I mean, but
So there's no
nonetheless.
reason
He
they
shot
haven't
a
figured
jogger?
anything out yet. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
that's-
scan it.
I mean, 5 miles away, that could have been you out there in your scooter or something like that, you know?
What if he saw me flying around? He shot a 29-year-old cop, a 52-year-old woman, a 34-year-old woman, and a 49-year-old woman. Like, these are just randoms around
You
the
fit right into that demo. You're his demo.
would.
Middle-aged white people.
I'd be good for shooting.
That's so sad. Just someone like doing something innocent, living their life, walking in the neighborhood, some monster. Just it's over.
You act like joggers aren't annoying at all.
I mean, what if
Nobody works with cyclists.
what if it was like they're calling him the cyclist killer, and it was a serial killer around the country that only attacked cyclists?
Who were a little too far over.
He would like
No.
drive around in his truck,
Who were
and
on
he'd
the
wait.
road.
He would just go on the road, and he'd wait for cyclists that blew past stop signs, and then he'd like release cryptic dash cam footage, almost Sam Hyde style, yelling and mocking them before he runs them down. That guy would not be as hated as like other groups of people. The random attacker, serial killer would be reviled much more than the cyclist, the road cyclist killer.
Yeah.
So every time you bring up like road cyclists, there's always like some European guy who's like, "Yeah, why are you Americans so backward? You can't even ride your bike." And it's like, you live in a country the size of my neighborhood. Like there's like, what are you talking about? Like, we need cars, we need all this stuff, and like our roads, maybe Europeans don't know this, our roads are not made for cyclists. So when they're on a windy road, it's just them in the lane, just hanging out 2 feet in your lane. And it's like, oh, so now I get to swerve around you on a corner where there could be oncoming traffic. Thank you, sir, for off-putting all sense of responsibility and making all of us kind of the adults in the room who have to be careful not to tip over the child. Everyone put your safety on the line so that this person is prioritized. Tremendous selfishness. Hate it.
I thought cars had the right of way this whole time. I've been running them off the road.
You should. I think that's something we should get behind. I'm voting for whoever puts that in. No more cyclists on the road. They get their own roads.
No more mollycoddling the cyclists of America.
I saw a cunt jogging on the road near me. There is a path. There's a sidewalk, and she's jogging on the road, and it's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Like, what's wrong?
You should hit her, and you know what? Darwin would approve.
Darwin would approve as I'm like clasped in irons. But it was Darwin is the
survival of the fittest.
And they're like, not only is that tremendously ascientific, you are a murderer. Well, we would have got you for manslaughter except for that 10-minute rant on your podcast. So now it's
murder one.
Now it's murder one. No, I was joking. It was a joke. I was joking. It's a meme.
Raleigh's working their way up the murder rank. I mean, the flex.
Well, I mean, the spring guy really.
I think it came before that. We were 14th fastest rising in murders, and I just don't think
who was keeping up with that stat?
Hold on, I'll find
what
out.
What a horrific stat. Charlotte's really on the rise.
Here, cities with the highest increase in homicide rates since October. Oh, this is from yesterday. Cities with the highest increase in homicide rates.
Are we 14th in yours as well?
You are 14th. Raleigh,
yeah.
North Carolina. Ha! Look at St. Louis, down at 3. Fuck you, Kansas City and Detroit. Now you're the losers. Oh, no, wait. I guess we still have a lot more.
Oh, but look at that. You're down like 15% and you're changing homicides. Actually, it's 15 raw. But yeah, so you're slipping and we're rising. Watch your back, St. Louis.
We're rising. Dude, St. Louis is a shit. It's worse now than ever. Like,
you're not even good at murder anymore.
Not even good at murder anymore. Well, the numbers are probably going down because fewer of them are getting caught.
Because we use handguns and you use hammers.
So many cops are resigning because it's just fucking dangerous. And I could see how that would happen. Like if you're a cop and a bunch of your fellow cops resign, then you're forced into a more dangerous situation. I would imagine.
Does it say why they're resigning? Is it the danger? Is it the anti-police sentiments?
Well, I know that like St. Louis City has never like been good about like having the backs of cops like some cities do. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Do you want them to have the backs of cops?
Not really. Like I mean, well, it depends on the situation. If it's like a reasonable situation, yeah. If it's like one of those fucking dude in Vegas getting gunned down, playing the Macarena, like, yeah, obviously you do not want like the Vegas city council or whatever being like, we are gonna form a wall around this guy and protect our boys in blue. Like, clearly you don't want that.
Yeah. Good judgment, obviously. That's the way to go.
So I want to talk about Kanye West and his slow and steady descent into insanity, and the fact that he has now said things that are so inflammatory that mental illness is no longer an excuse, according to like CNN. I saw them say that, and I couldn't believe they were saying it. They repeated it. They're like, no, mental illness. That's a hot take if you ask me.
Yeah, this is a problem because that's my excuse.
I don't care if they're not even capable of controlling what they say, and they don't even know what they're saying. they say anything about any Jewish people at all. Like,
Yeah.
really? but we're all agreeing that he's insane and he doesn't know what he's saying, and we should probably like put him under a conservatorship or whatever, like they did Britney Spears, and get some experts in and like some people who love him and look after him, and they're like, nah, he talked about you.
No, debank him.
Debanked him.
Yeah, he got debanked by JP Morgan.
Oh, that really happened.
They
I forgot when you
debanked
first
him.
said it.
Oh, you thought it was a funny joke? Why?
For a
was so
second, I
funny
forgot
about
they
that?
debanked him.
Yeah, that's old news now. I think we mentioned that last week. Like that was one of the first
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And I saw like JP Morgan, they held Epstein shit after it came out that like he was doing wild stuff.
Hold on, I don't think Epstein said anything about Jewish people.
He didn't say a damn thing. He kept his mouth
Well,
shut.
that's true, but I would say that
Epstein's
money
like,
was very
whoa,
violent.
But
I
you're
would
acting like
never.
Epstein said things, anti-Semitic things, and he did not.
Epstein's
You're right,
like,
I'm putting too
look,
much weight in the rape island.
I like
There's an
anti-
island where they rape children.
Anti-Semitism
Again, now
is
you're
a bridge
kink
too
shaming.
far.
Jesus, Taylor.
God damn, just doubling down on my anti-kink bigotry.
So, Kanye's in a lot of trouble, and the best
What's
part
going on
is,
now? I saw the
well,
parlor.
the parlor thing is so good because I think Kanye's worth. All right, so these numbers are round numbers, but it's like what I heard on the internet. I think Kanye's worth like $2 billion or something. Is that right? Or maybe he's 100 billion. It was some enormous.
Not
amount.
100 billion, but he's a billionaire. Yeah.
I thought it was $2 billion, like between his shoes and everything.
Google says 2 billion, so let's go with it.
Yeah, so he's got $2 billion fucking dollars, an enormous amount of wealth. And Candace Owens and her husband, they're these right-wing African American, you could say provocateurs, and they're you know they're political pundits for those who don't know.
She used to be liberal.
Yeah,
And
she's a
she's
a
not
grifter.
no longer. She's a hell of an actress.
It's not where the money
And-
was.
And so she had this movie come out called like The Greatest Lie Ever Sold or The Biggest Lie Ever Sold or something like that. And it's a I can't even remember. It's about BLM. It's about how Black Lives Matter is a big scam. And so Kanye West and some other silly people show up at the premiere, and they're calling it like BLM's funeral. So they're all wearing black, looking somber, making frowny faces. And then the next thing you know, see, there's this the conservative social media thing called Parler, right? Her husband owns that shit. Kanye just bought it for like 45 mil or something like 50 million dollars. Nobody else was swooping in to buy this defunct fucking conservative right wing.
What is the user base like? What do they know how like? Who is on fucking?
I bet he paid 50 a fucking user.
$50 a user. Maybe I have no idea.
I read that it was 0.1% of Twitter's activity. Like that is a
Holy
comparison.
Is it like
0.1.
Twitter? Like you
Wait,
you just
0.1?
Yeah, not 1%, but a
Hey,
tenth
go
of
to
a percent
Parler.com.
of Twitter.
no, I don't want to join. I just want to see what the fuck it looks like.
I mean, that sounds like if Shroud's doing a big stream or something. Like
Yeah, right.
Like how big is that? I don't know.
It's like when
Dude, I
Tarkov
can-
does a wipe.
I can definitely that is
Or
that strikes
drop
me
something?
as
Because-
some opportunistic shit from Candace and her husband to
Was that
be
Kid
like,
Rock?
yeah, come on in. Also buy this thing that's totally not failing. This is a great investment. Like, yeah, it doesn't.
She's
doesn't
taking
seem
advantage
like
of
it.
the mentally ill.
If you
Are we
wanna
okay with
see-
that or not okay with that? I think we're okay with it.
I'm not okay with it. I like Kanye as an artist. Look, that
He does
early
make
stuff
some
he made was
catchy
so good.
tunes.
I think he's lost his fucking mind. I think he's actually having a mental breakdown here, and he's just like saying crazy stuff. I feel bad for him, but it's real funny to watch. And like, I mean, he's a billionaire, so it's okay, right? Like, that's the thing. Like that's why it's okay to like watch somebody spiral because he's a billionaire. So no matter what, no matter how bad he fucks up, if anyone else, if I heard that somebody else had been grifted for 50 million, I'd be like, oh no. What's gonna happen? Because like not everybody has 50 million to spare. Even if you're a celebrity, 50 million? I don't know how much money. Say like, I don't know, Toby Maguire. How much money does Toby have? I doubt he's got 50 to throw the fuck away. You know?
Yeah,
Right? But Kanye does, so it's like he'll be all right. And the funny thing is, he's big enough that like he might be able to make it worth 50 million and get out from under it. Like he might be able to do that.
Maybe
like,
he is popular.
sane Kanye, who's not saying anything about Jewish people, those wonderful people. The best. Some say the best.
All the people are talking about the Jews. They're the best.
The best.
Can he though? To me, Parler is yesterday's news, right? If you're a conservative and you're looking for a circle jerk, you go to Truth Social. That's where you want to be on Trump's new platform.
Trump's thing, yeah.
Parler is the one that Trump wouldn't go to because he wanted to get paid. He's like, with my presence on Parler is going to make Parler worth a ton. You should pay me a ton. Make it worth my while to post over there.
Yeah.
And they didn't or couldn't.
Half ownership right away. If I own Parler, I'm like, all right, Donald, you own half of this thing now. Get in here and start tweeting.
I think they gave him 90% of Truth Social.
Oh shit! Trump's a fucking he's a business
Part of the deal shit, man. Yes. I hear everything about Truth Social. I hear that the thing is absolutely failing, that they're not paying their hosting companies, that they're millions in debt. But it's been occupying more of my news universe than it ever has before. So
I would
maybe
never
it'll be
go to any
worth
of
a
those
lot.
places. The only way I know that Truth Social exists is because occasionally Trump's tweets
It makes news.
screenshotted. Well, his tweets specifically is screenshotted. They're not called tweets, whatever they're called.
Truths.
That's lame as fuck.
Really, I think it's good. So I think it's bad for humanity in America to have everything Trump writes called a truth, but I think the marketing is good. The fact that these are truths that you're making. You know, when you say it, this is it. I think
Trump made a truth today.
Yeah.
That was a lie.
Right?
Like they usually are.
I mean, it looks like Truth Social had like 9 million visitors in September. Not great. But Parler only saw 1.25 million.
Wait, explain to me how an app only had 9 million total individual users or impressions, like visits. Because
It said-
visits is pathetic.
It's not visits, it says visitors. So I guess
Okay,
I
so
guess that's total unique users.
That's what I was, yeah.
So like yeah, Parler 1.25 million visitors, Truth Social 9 million visitors, Gab.
All right, they're
12.8
cooking with
million
gas if they
visitors.
got that many. Look, it's not a global phenomenon or
I
anything.
guess 9 million's a lot.
You got 9 million.
It doesn't seem like that.
I
much.
just pictured that meaning like probably 5 million who are actually on there a few times a week doing a thing, touching it. Like 20 people downloaded it, never did anything again. But like that's a lot of people. You can influence things with that many people. You can do things with that many people. Like big things. That whole January 6th thing, like how many people were there? A couple thousand, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but online numbers aren't.
They're in person. Yeah, but there's
They're not
but you
worth
take the
as much.
online numbers, and I'm sure there's like the Drake equation is that equation they use to like calculate how many intelligent like civilizations should exist in our universe. And you're plugging in numbers for unknown.
So how many intelligent people are on Truth Social? In this
Exactly.
scenario?
I mean, clearly 9 million.
It's like the Drake equation, but in reverse. But poor Kanye. I keep saying poor because
He's not poor. He's worth $2 billion.
rich Kanye is in a tough spot though. Like I saw he was on Cuomo's show. I didn't even know Cuomo still had a show.
He's on some network I've never heard of now.
Yeah, like News Nation, right? Something like that. And I don't know. I guess it's just a YouTube channel, maybe. But it seemed it was getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. Like it wasn't like a blockbuster or anything. But when you compare that to like what, if you ever looked at like, we always thought of CNN as like, holy shit, Tom Brokaw's on there. The news is being spoken like way back in the day when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people actually there live listening to Tom Brokaw at night. Was it millions and millions because there were so few like channels? Was that the deal back then? You think? Like Walter
I think
Cronkite,
so.
like, on
I
his,
think there were just 3 news channels.
but I think
and-
by the time it got to like modern times, like 20 teens, CNN's getting shit on by like the top 10 people on Twitch every night. You know what I mean? Like maybe like a million people might tune into the most popular thing, right?
Sometimes I think though that they grade it a little harshly, and here's where that comes from. I think they're like, ooh, this person sucks. He had 800,000 live viewers, and I'm like, all right, but they're gonna take that show, they're gonna make 9 YouTube videos out of it. They're all gonna get a couple million views, this and that and the other thing, and by the time it's finished, the amount of people who are influenced by that is way larger than the 800,000 lives that you're comparing it with.
Yeah,
I think.
it's if they cover it,
But it's not what it
like that,
was.
like a modern company does. Like I don't think
That's
they were
how I
really
see
doing
the
that
news.
right away.
That's
They
how I
weren't
see the
doing that
news.
thing where they diversify. They had their like tentpole program up, and then they were like, all right, cut your 10 YouTube videos, get your 20 social media clips, and fucking get together, team, go, go, go. Like, they weren't doing that in 2010. Like, now they do. Now when it...
Like what Conan did. Like, he was one of the first late night guys to put all his shit on YouTube, and it got huge.
Yeah, you know, that reminds you, James Corden, do I have his name right? The
James
carpool karaoke.
Corden. I only know because he's apparently very rude, but I didn't know who he was before I learned he was rude.
James Corden on TV is a very likable guy. His whole persona is being kind of warm and giggly and just fun. He's a good time. He does carpool karaoke and he's quick to laugh and he can actually sing.
He was in some Doctor Who episodes. Found him very charming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not nice to waitresses. And they're all giving him a hard time. As if waitresses aren't here to absorb our abuse. As if they're not on Earth for us to talk down.
Yes, give it to me.
Waitresses only exist to take out your frustrations on. Is your drink a little slow? Is your food a little cold? Are your fries not crispy? Call her names.
Fix it, food slave.
Wench, I think. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, right?
Whoa, he didn't really call it that? Because I just thought of the most old-timey rude thing I could. Is that what
No,
he,
that's me calling them that. This
Oh,
is-
wait. Yeah.
Wench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
I
food
say-
slave was pretty
Soup
good.
wench!
Wench.
Did you call me a soup wench?
Bring me my dinner and then blow me.
You guys are so kind to use words. You don't just snap and point at your drink. I don't know.
What do you
I return to monkey. I just make simian grunts at my weight. I just go.
You're giving this guy a hard
Polly-
time as if
Polly thing
waitresses
was-
are equals.
These rolls here. Cellophane.
Ryanair banned him from flying on Ryanair. I need to know, did he really fly Ryanair? Like, I don't know if this is a thing at all. I forget Andrew Tate got banned from Airbnb. And he's like, I hadn't stayed in an Airbnb in like 7 years. The TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube all banned me. And then suddenly Airbnb comes out of nowhere and bans Andrew Tate
Oh,
too.
fuck Airbnb. They're going out of business. Have you seen, like, the
I've
price?
seen some of the stories and the prices.
It's
Fuck.
been popular on Reddit recently, and it
Man.
ties into my own experience. Like you see you're like, ooh, $150 a night. This seems so much cheaper than the hotel equivalent. Let's
Yeah.
lock it in. And then, so whatever, you stay for 3 nights.